When you're working with colors in Macromedia's Flash MX, you're going to be working with the color mixer and with the color swatches. This is the color swatch. Let's open up the color mixer. There we go. Now of course we can dock these onto the side here if we wanted to, and have this kind of a window set up. But for our particular use here, for most of these discussions, I'm going to be leaving these things floating. It gives me more screen real estate for the timeline and for the stage. Come on, there we go. Stay put. Okay. Since I'm working at a screen resolution of 800 by 600, which is what we need to do for these particular videos, I'll be doing some things such as this. Although I would recommend, if you have a greater amount of screen real estate, definitely dock these things on the right hand side where it'd be easier to get to. Okay, so we have the color mixer, and come up, stay put. There we go. Wanted to follow the mouse cursor for some reason. Okay, color mixer and the color swatches. These are both ways of creating color in Flash. Let's open up a little more. Okay. Now let's look at the color mixer first. If you notice here, we have two different color choices. We have stroke color and we have fill color. These are the exact same choices that we have over here under colors. I'm going to actually open up the properties menu at the same time here so we can follow along. You'll see here that we also have the background color choice right here on the document properties. If I choose that, it brings up a version of the color swatch dialog box, or the color swatch palette. Let's go back to color mixer. You'll see right now we are looking at the fill color. Let's move up here to the stroke color and then back down to the fill again. We have a few standard settings. We have red, green, and blue RGB and an alpha setting. Alpha is your transparency. Since we're not working towards print when we're using Flash, we don't have any CMYK choices, anything like that. We're dealing with RGB strictly here. We have a couple of choices. We can choose RGB or hue, saturation, brightness, HSB. I always leave mine on RGB just to avoid any kind of confusion. When we look at fill colors, we have several choices here. We can choose no fill or a solid fill. A solid is any one of these swatch colors. We can create our own swatch color. We can choose any color down from here for our solid color. Let's just grab a few so we can get in between shades this way. We can extend that by clicking this little arrow and have a little more ability. Now if we just drag our cursor around, you'll see it is still spotting colors for us. As we're doing this, you'll see that we have the hexadecimal number showing up right here, and we also have the RGB numbers showing up here. These are the RGB percentages. Now on hexadecimal, a couple of things here. Web safe colors are always in groups of 3 pairs. So we have the first group here is 1C, second group is 79, third group is 72. This is not a web safe color. A web safe color would be 3 groups of numbers like 22, 33, 44. This is a web safe color, and you will always find this. Any one of these colors here, if I choose any one of these colors out of our web palette, you will notice that all of these are in pairs. So you can quickly see if your hexadecimal number or your color is web safe just by checking the pairs here. If you have 3 pairs of numbers and letters, you're fine, it's a web safe color. One more little trick here I'll just mention. If all of these are the same, then you have a gray scale or a gray shade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 numbers or letters in hexadecimal. All F's is white. All zeros is black. Anything in between is a grayscale. Let's just type in all 5s here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, I have a 0 there. Make that a 5. Okay. So if they're all the same, it's going to be a pure gray. Pretty easy to remember that. Let me just minimize this section here. So we can also change our color here if you want to by using the slider control. And you'll see I'm adding in more red and then taking out some red. Let's do the same thing for green. Add in more green, take out some green, and blue, add in more blue and take out some blue. And of course we can always adjust our transparency here with alpha. Okay, along with the color mixer, which is allowing us to mix these special colors here, of course we do have the color swatches, and we can choose any color directly off the color swatches, and these are all hexadecimal colors. Or we can choose special fills. This is our linear fill right here. And then we have these different radial fills, a grayscale and then a red, green, and a blue radial fill, and a couple of specialty fills here, a chrome type look and a rainbow look. Let's just look at this one. All of these work the same. All these gradations work the same as far as how you work with them or adjust them. So I'll just use the linear as an example. Up here we have the, there it is, the color proxy. Actually it's right here. Right now I'm looking at the color proxy for this position. I could change over to this position. So if you click on this little symbol here, you can change the color of this spot by using the color proxy right here. Let's just change this to a blue. There it goes. Let's go over to this one. Choose the color proxy. Let's change this one to a green. So we can change the end colors very easily. And the same goes for any one of these. I can change any one of these colors just by clicking on the color proxy and changing it up here or making adjustments over here. Let's come back to this one. We also can, of course, change the way that this gradient works by moving these sliders around a little bit. Okay, so that's a look at the color mixer and color swatches for finding colors and creating colors for Flash.